Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might. My name is Brad. I love clapping for intros, and I'll continue to be your DM in this arc set in the world of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Who do I got with me?
I'm Zach, and I'll be playing Dirk today.
I'm Victor, the Beardless, and I'll be playing Lior, the
Yeah,
Bearded.
what a different guy. Truly.
We got rid of Victor and replaced him with Victor.
Yes.
I don't know how I like this guy yet.
I'm Michelle. I'll be playing Tal.
I'm Marty, and I'm playing Paige.
All right. Well, for those of you who have been watching, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, welcome aboard. For those of you who don't know, this is a show. It's a D&D actual play show in an anthology style where we all take turns sending each other on journeys in some of our favorite worlds of fiction for some non-canonical ventures into lesser explored areas of those worlds and seeing where like a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventuring party might cause a bit of a ruckus. So again, this is an arc set in the world of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, which I am super stoked to be running. It is similar to the show that is currently being run, as they say. Think of it as another turn of the wheel. This is the event surrounding the war in Gildan with the dragon Logain Ablar. Gildane. No, I actually had to check myself super hard to say it right. It's oh god, my friend who is the lore guy for this whole book series is gonna roast me when he hears me say Gildane. But that's that's character. That's a learning experience.
Blame Tal. It's a colloquial accent.
Yes, sure. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, you could do that at the link right below in our YouTube channel. And as always, the next episode will be uploaded next Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with an upload on all podcasting formats coming on Wednesday. Now, we left on a wee bit of a cliffhanger.
My hands are so sweaty.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're all dead.
Well, that's why you shaved the beard.
You're so relaxed that you came back as a different person.
Character incoming.
I actually ripped my beard off due to
And
anxiety.
who knows, at the end of today, you might have to come back as a different person. We'll see if that happens as we turn the page and enter the next chapter of Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might.
Save me.
So,
Oh no.
just setting the vibe with this sound.
Creepy.
Last time that we left off, this group of travelers had finally finished their relaxing river cruise along the River Bourne, having arrived at the end of the river where they could no longer traverse by water, which was where they made their way to Stedding Jinsoon, where Lior was supposed to go and visit and make sure that everything was okay with their waygate, because they had sent some concerns to the masons at Stedding Shangloon some time ago. Along this voyage, you finally revealed as many secrets as you could to each other, and it seemed that everything was out in the air. Well, maybe not everything, because when you did meet the elders of Stedding Jinsoon, there was a revelation that Paige was maybe not Paige, and was instead someone named Kashmiri? But that's secondary, because the Ogier at Jinsoon were facing a deep problem. You see, with the Civil War and with this army of the people of the Dragon that had been roaming around the north of Gildan, there was a lot of chaos, much more so than usual, and a lot more foot traffic than usual around the Stedding. Their typical hospitality towards humans wore thin when some of the arrivals at the Stedding were unpredictable and chaotic and posed a danger to the Ogier, so they sent them out. But before they left, the last batch of humans spoke of concerning sounds coming from the north. 2 Ogier among them went to investigate and had seemingly not returned, and you had been asked to go. And so after checking in and being cleared, Lior, of being grounded by a third-party steading and being given a couple of letters, you made your way north, where the sudden recapturing of the one power proved difficult for Dirk, who suddenly seemed unable to release the power and noticed, maybe not to everybody's eye, but eventually caught on by Paige, just one fingernail fell off. But that voice of seemingly spirit in your head suddenly began to sound a lot more reasonable, making
A
your
fingernail or a finger?
fingernail. Fingernail.
Okay.
Finger
I'd
drop
probably
off.
make a bigger deal of it.
Yeah. He actually can't hold a sword, so figure it out. But you guys made your way to the stand of trees where it should have been a lush green space, but you could see stumps. And Lior, enraged, ran up to where the waygate was supposed to be. Initially, you were hopeful at seeing 2 hulking figures standing by the waygate, but quickly they revealed themselves to be far more bestial even than Lior, with the snarling jaws of a wolf and a bear, and more disconcerting, an open waygate behind them. You guys fought and, honestly, wiped the floor with me like 4 or 5 times. But in doing so, Lior let himself be taken with rage after one of them revealed that his brethren had been eaten. No longer with a guide of how to close the waygate, you guys did your best but could not find the key until Lior, furious at the continued emergence of all these different Trollocs emerging from the waygate, dispatched of the final one, grabbed it, and slowly, wordlessly, walked in. I want you to give me a perception check, just so I can paint the clearest picture beyond what I described last time that I should. That's a different thing.
Is
Got a lot of papers.
it's a 17.
It's a 17. So then what you saw what I described last time is very much still what you see. You see in front of you a wolf-looking Trolloc, a boar-looking Trolloc, who are both looking like they were right on the precipice of being about to walk through the gateway. You see as well 2 eagles with bows drawn. And that's what you see immediately next to you on a solid, like, circular platform. Stretching out behind them is a throng that, as they diminish into the light, you can't necessarily make out all their figures, but a throng of snarling, chirping, screeching Trollocs who are crowded onto this narrow bridge. And behind them, you see a figure that strikes panic into the recess of your mind that is still thinking rationally. This tall, roughly 6.5 foot tall humanoid figure in black scale armor with a cowl thrown back so that you could see its lank black hair over its pale face and its penetrating gaze, which is all the more disturbing because it has no eyes. As Lior, you, even in your enhanced rage and hasted state, you see with panic that there is a fade in here. And as you are listening to these hasted voices of motivation from Adeline, this spirit that Paige has so often channeled for you guys now, all of a sudden those whispers start to fade as maybe something that only you hear so far because you've already been listening to the wind, but a different, more insidious wind starts to swirl around with just incoherent, nightmarish violence as the words,
"Rip to tear to kill, the flesh so sweet we want."
just incessant babbling. And it is in this moment that, walking in with this extra movement, I think at the end of the last thing you had used your movement, your action, your bonus action, but you still had your double movement from haste. Unfortunately, you have entered a plane outside of reality. No. And you feel those motivational whispers severed from you as you look with horror upon what faces you as you haste ends. I'd like you to give me an Arcana check.
Great at those. Ooh! 17.
Dang!
Wow.
In that case, I think that on the outside, you do actually feel a tether break. And you have to sort of like reorient yourself so that you don't lose it on Dirk as well. And I think Dirk for a second reels, but you refocus it. And I don't know that you've necessarily put together what has just happened, but you feel the tether of haste break, the connection of spirit with Lior.
Something has happened. Yeah.
You feel that. Now I'm going to be real with you, Victor. This is not good.
When you said my real name, I know it's not good. It's, so Lior, no.
No. My friend Victor.
No, it's real
This
bad.
is not good.
It's real bad.
As you feel this wave of lethargy sweep over you. I'm going to tell you how this is going to work. I am going to roll initiative for 2 things, okay? First one,
Second, the shade.
And then the black wind. Not a humanoid.
Now I'm really scared
And
that
this is
there's
the
only
second
2
one.
initiatives.
okay?
Oh.
Lior, is that the end of your turn?
A wave of lethargy hits me, right?
A wave of lethargy hits you.
Until his next turn?
Here's the thing. This
I don't know how
actually
it
works
reads.
out quite a bit in your favor.
Yeah.
Because you still had things on your turn. I think this just voids the rest of your current turn. I don't believe, rules as written, that it would cover your next turn if
don't-
it drops halfway through your own.
Do you want me to read it, or
I read
Or
it
can we-
extensively.
Perfect.
Don't read it. Last time we read something out loud, it wasn't good for us.
No, you're right. That's
This is a big part of why I ended the session last time.
Yeah, that's a perfect.
I read it carefully, and that's what I'm going to rule.
Okay,
Perfect,
I love
perfect,
it.
perfect.
I
I
love
like
it.
Is that you went in to take a look, I think, with the idea that you could just hop out. You are in no position to hop out, and you are weakened.
I thought it was just gonna be like, I got so much movement. This is good.
What I'm doing is good! For me! And for a story. As you are stricken with panic now, you see, looking up at the disturbance as the Trollocs around you sort of step back, looking up at the disturbance is this eyeless visage who pinpoints on you, and at the end of your turn is going to, you just see, raise a hand over towards you and towards the beings around you, and just do a... And using a legendary action is going to command each of the Trollocs next to you, the boar and the wolf, to take 1 melee attack.
That's sick.
Yeah,
It's like a souped up commander strike.
such a cool mechanic, such a painful reality.
And you went reckless last time, yes?
I did. So you have advantage.
But it's alright because you're
At least
hasted.
you're
No.
raging. At
At least
you're
I
raging.
can-
No,
Yes,
Yes.
because I killed something.
but you're incapacitated, Kate.
He is not incapacitated.
yeah, that's right.
Notably, haste does not incapacitate you.
Yeah.
What does it do?
You can't take actions or movement.
But not
Bradley.
incapacitated.
Bradley, you. Good job researching this, Bradley.
I had to. I had to make sure I didn't like super bungle this and kill him for a bad reason.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
boy.
roll a first attack.
So now you're gonna kill me for a good reason.
Okay, that's gonna be a 23 to hit.
That it?
Okay,
You don't even have
Let's
the
all watch
augmented
Lior coming.
AC from haste.
No, exactly.
I'm gonna roll a second.
naked.
I'm gonna roll a second attack.
Okay.
That is a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Dirty 20. Okay, great. Now I think the creepy music has run its course and we can go back to
The
combat.
happy fun times.
My combat playlist. Great. Okay, let
we gonna
me
do?
roll my damage for that as I look at a million stat sheets. I could have prepared for this, quite frankly. Unbelievable, a 1 and a 2 on the die. So I'm gonna need you to make a strength saving throw.
Strength. Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's a trip. The wolf trips.
With that damage, there is a merciful creator out there. I don't think it's you though. It's okay. That's a 25.
Insane. So that is, you do not get knocked prone, but you do take a total of 5 points of damage. That is already reduced.
Oh, that's the reduced amount.
That's the reduced amount.
Okay, perfect.
Horrifying for me as this scream and you all of a sudden feel this is very bad indeed. That is going to be the end of Lior's turn. In the combat order, that brings us now to Dirk.
Oh no, that's bad.
Dirk, outside here, you guys have explored everywhere beyond the red line towards the gate. You guys have searched that and found no stone leaf. That would be the key to close the gate. You have just seen a silent Lior walk into the ways. What would you like to do?
Okay, I know nothing about ways.
Right.
Know nothing about them. I see Lior walk through. I have no idea what's on the other side. I think maybe it's... Can I make some sort of check to see if I know how bad this is? Like, do I think Lior just walked into a I want to know, is it... I'm just gonna... Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. No worries.
Scramble.
What's it gonna be? What do you want?
I'm going to yell...
I think just for context, I think I told you I yelled out last time that the leaf was not on this side and the leaf needs to be found in order to close the way gate.
Okay.
I don't know if that affects what you're
Where
gonna
is
do.
the light actually coming to from the torches? How far does it reach?
The light reaches to a little bit, like, sort of like the very front edge of where Paige is, but here's the thing,
I have a
Dirk,
torch as well.
You don't
Yeah.
necessarily need
Right.
the light.
So, can I just run forward and I'd like to just look and see if I could find it because I have 60 feet. That would be ridiculous. It's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Tell me where you're looking.
So 5, 10, 15. I want to come around here and be looking like literally in this direction to see if I can find it on my side first.
Great, totally. You can move more like probably 30 feet. I'm not gonna make you guys
10, 15,
incrementally do
20.
it like you can move up like 30 feet or something.
Oh, perfect.
You know, like I'm not gonna hose you guys on that.
Yeah.
So you're checking basically in this like quadrant.
In this area, yeah.
Great. Then I'm gonna have you make an investigation check.
Did I have a torch?
You did have a torch.
Okay, perfect. Did I don't know if I gave it to you or not.
17.
It's on the floor, I think.
A
Beside you.
17. I think with a 17 you clear this area.
Not here.
It is not here.
Okay, I'll yell to Paige. It's not on my side, it's on yours. I'll get Lior. I have a hasted movement.
Sure.
So I'll run. Oh my goodness, that was the worst thing I could have ever done.
It's okay. It's okay. It happened last time too.
10, 15.
The worst thing you could have
20,
ever done is shoot a
25,
fireball at the
30.
gate.
I'll move back into that position. That's both my double movement.
Sure.
I will use 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'll use...
If I screwed up your plans for movement, we can.
No, no,
Because
no, no,
I
'cause
know
I want to look
I didn't
there.
want to make you move further and then goof your plan.
Nah, it's totally fine.
Okay.
And then I'll use my action to dash and get myself to the front of the way gate and use my bonus action to kind of just take a deep breath and concentrate and try to feel kind of the aura of the and be like, okay, I was able to like do this for Paige. I can do this for me. And I'm going to try to like close any wounds I have on my body and I'm going to try to second wind.
Okay,
Bonus
totally.
action.
Do you want to be like right in front there, or do you want to be on the diagonal?
I'll be on the. That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. If a monster steps out, I want to punch it in the groin.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's going to be my turn as I tell them to look that way.
Awesome. Can you roll a d20 for me?
Yes, I can. After I roll that. Yes, and then this. Hiya. 16.
16. Great.
Okay.
And your second wind, you heal yourself for. It sounded like a good amount of.
6 plus 3, so 9.
Nice. Great. You run over here, feeling tired, feeling more tapped out, and I had you roll for the wrong thing, but I'm gonna count that because otherwise it's a useless D20 roll. That was like a Constitution saving throw as you used up the last store of your channeling strength, let's say. But you shake off any sort of like tiredness that you feel, and you're just peering into the waygate, thinking you can sort of see like a vaguely swimming form, but nothing clear.
Okay, yeah, I get ready to try and pull him out. That's going to be my turn.
Okay, excellent. That is going to lead us back into the ways as these two beings strike you, as previously things have not really been able to take purchase on you. And once again, they look over, you could see with a little bit of panic in their eyes, towards the Fade, towards the Murdral. And it, once again, just starts trying to fight its way to the front of the line and towards them. And the ones that are surrounding you, turn to take their attacks on you. First, I need you to roll a athletics check. But I need you to roll it straight.
Okay.
I'm going to rule that the lethargy doesn't prevent you from taking reactions, but to me, you having advantage on this doesn't really land.
Yeah.
Who is it? Oh, no.
It's a 12.
It's a 12.
Okay.
The boar reaches over to you and wraps its arms around your chest before you can react, and you are grappled. And it is going to drag you back 15 feet further into the ways.
Okay.
As it does this, it hits you in the head with its horns.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll to see how many hits there are, and then I'm going to roll damage afterwards, okay? The wolf comes over, takes a bite at you. That's going to miss with a 11.
Oh, thank God.
It's going to swing its scimitar at you.
Yeah.
That's going to hit with a 22.
Yeah.
And then the two eagles
Thank you,
are
buddy.
each going to take 2 shots at you with their bows.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
That is a natural 1 and a natural 20 on the first one.
Oh.
Let me
That's
just
bad.
note that. That's a hit on the second one. This is the second eagle. That's a hit.
Oh, gosh. How many are we at?
And does a 15 hit.
Meets it.
So 3 arrow hits and 1 crit. 1 horn with the boar and 1 scimitar with the wolf. I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of dice now, and this is horrifying visually, but I just have to do some math.
You have to do some math to know how many dice you're taking?
I have to. I don't really know, quite frankly, how many dice I'm supposed to be picking up. Okay.
Oh dear. Oh,
So.
dear. Oh, dear.
Let me get the boar and the wolf covered here. Okay, so from those two, you take, and I should be doing them separate because
Yeah.
of rage.
Yeah.
So you take 5 points of damage. I'm gonna give it to you reduced already.
Okay.
5 points from the wolf. 3 points from the ram.
Okay.
This is going to be the crit from the eagle.
Yep.
Okay. 6 points from that.
Nice.
6 points as well from the following hit. Next
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
5 points. And 4 points.
Yeah.
That is the damage that you take in this round, but you are
I'm
grappled.
grappled.
You're grappled, and it has dragged you in about 15 feet.
Yeah. I'm in the thick of it.
And I told you, it's not good.
It's so good.
It's straight up really bad.
It's so much worse than he said.
No, Brad, I blame you. They didn't have to be this. Why are they here?
That's gonna bring us to Tal's turn.
That grapple really screwed my plans, Brad.
It's a bad spot to be in.
Tal, this is only gonna work if I roll really, really well. Tal goes into the
Historically, that shouldn't be a problem.
gate. No, historically, I roll really, really well until I need it. Tal goes into the gate.
Yep. 5, 10, 15, 20 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20 feet. Which means Tal's inside.
Yep.
Theoretically, he's 15 more
50
feet away, and I have 45 feet of movement.
Yes.
I should be able to get to him.
Yes. What I did say last time, and I'm
Oh,
going to
no.
be a stickler because
Go
I
for it.
did say this last time.
It takes half your movement.
It takes half the movement to go through the way gate.
So how much movement do I have left?
If you went 20 feet to there, you would have 5 feet of movement left, unless you take Step of the Wind or something like
Yeah, I,
that.
was gonna say, I think Step of the Wind. Too.
I can't take Step of the Wind.
Oh no. Oh no.
So I'll let you factor that into whatever your plan is here, because... Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do. Hang on. Let me
Yeah.
double check something super quick. So sorry.
No, that's okay. Listen, this is the meanest I've ever been in any game I've ever done. So I am going to allow panic research.
So, what's your next character gonna be?
Toby. Of course, it's gonna be Toby.
So while you guys were all on vacation last week, Victor and I met to talk logistics, and I also said, hey, I need you to know so it's not me bullying you on the spot.
Yeah. You gotta.
But you did a dumb thing.
Again, story-wise, so cool. So cool. I love it. Yes.
If I'm right in front of the gate,
Yes.
you don't get dragged in further. I have no choice. I use Step of the Wind.
Okay.
What was that? Boom.
I make it all the way to. That's my bonus action.
And
I
you only
make
use
it.
10 feet to get to him.
I use 10 feet to get to
If
him.
you had 5 feet already when you after the portal, then you only
Yeah.
use 10 feet to get to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
you
have
gotta
35
swim
feet.
35
left.
feet
Yeah.
left.
Disengage or dash, so that's not helpful. I'm going to hit the boar who is holding.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm so shaky.
Smack you up. Do it.
First hit. Natural one.
Can she like contest a grapple? And like try to pull out of a grapple?
Is that like
You
disarming
can make
someone?
You can make a contested strength.
My strength
check,
isn't great.
I guess?
Then don't. Then
Yeah.
But if
you
you
would
shove
have
him-
you would have to do athletics.
yeah, no, that's not. I don't think that's what it is.
Second attack.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Hits. 22.
22 will hit.
Stunning strike.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, Con,
Yep. Fail it. Fail it. Come on.
what is your DC?
Don't say that.
That means it's close.
Is it 14?
Uh,
What?
I think
I
you
need to
use
make sure
your
I calculated
wisdom.
it. It's my wisdoms plus 3, 6, 14.
I rolled a 14.
It hurts so much.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sad about that.
I'm nauseous.
I'm going to use my interaction.
Okay.
I'm going to look at Lior. The same way I was combing his hair while waiting in the blacksmith shop to wait for the boat. I'm gonna run my fingers through his hair. I'm gonna make eye contact and say, "You are the only one who can find the leaf. I need you. Paige needs you. Come." And I'm gonna run back to the gate.
Okay. As you run, The boar, I'm gonna say, has its arms around Lior, can't really take a shot at you. It's kind of goofy to go like that. The wolf is going to take a bite at you as you go to run.
Fair.
That is a dirty 20 to hit.
That'll miss.
Great. Okay. It deals you 11 points of piercing damage.
And I need to make a save.
Strength saving throw, please.
This hurts me so
This already rolled a natural one, so theoretically it won't roll another one again. Isn't that how that works?
You can't say that
you
out
said
loud.
it out loud. Oh no. Oh
Why
no.
would you put that in the ether?
No, I'm choosing another one. I'm not using that. Oh, I put it down on an 18. Strength?
Yes.
Athletics?
Strength saving throw.
16.
That passes. As it reaches out and bites you, and this time you have already been bitten and almost felled by one of these wolf-looking Trollocs, but you were bolstered by, and again, the wording of a certain feature I have really saves you in this case, because you run in and it's dark, but I think you were just hearing the very tail end of a and you look and you just see this pale shape moving through the darkness, and all you feel is fear. And you have run in here doing the bravest thing you can as the person out of this group that knows the least about the actual sort of struggle in this world that is going on underneath everything that happens. And you ran in and found a army. You ran in and found the pale horse that rides in with it. And walking in, you immediately hear,
We kill, you run from it. But there's no escape. You think you can handle this like your brothers, but you can't.
and the fear that strikes your heart saves your life as you just get your leg out of any real damage from this wolf as you exit out right about where Dirk is, maybe about 10 feet afterward, out of
Oh, I'd like to be
the way gate.
right here.
Yeah, you can get to about there. You can sort of tumble out to there.
I'll come stumbling out, totally white, clammy, sweaty. He's coming, but there's an army. And I will end my turn.
That's the end of your turn.
That's all I can do. I had such good plans before that gravel.
Here come 20 more attacks for Lior. Get ready.
Okay.
You already rolled
Lior, this happens and you're starting to try and shake it off, and you're just like almost not able to react. You're so overwhelmed by what's happening, and the voices that are swimming around are now, you could start to see the Trollocs surrounding you start to, wide eyes casting around in the darkness, and the swell of Trollocs on the bridge getting stronger as all of a sudden panic starts to set in among them. You start to hear these voices now going,
Yes, we know. The gardener who wishes to uproot, to tear from the ground.
and it starts to be oddly tailored towards you. And this is just horrifying to you as you see roughly 100 feet from you on the bridge fighting is this Murdral, as it is looking around and desperate for some sort of escape, looks and sees just the faint glimmer of light that is casting down before it, from behind you, from the light of the waking world. Just that faint bit of light does give it a shadow that it spots, and frantically it goes up to next to one Trolloc that is holding a torch, ducks behind it, and in a flash you see the Murdral appears on the platform with you.
Oh no.
Using its bonus action.
Get the out.
I was like 100 feet. We're good. Oh no.
Well, I should be clear. It runs up about 40 feet. And then it does this.
Ish.
Now, in your presence, it looks to you and stares you down, expecting the usual wilting effect to happen. However, as weakened as you are in terms of your physicality right now, your mental state is still in fury. And what do you want to tell me one of the level 6 features of the Berserker Barbarian?
Immune to frightened and charmed.
And that is one of the reasons why you are the best person to have made this crazy foolhardy decision, because it very much gives you a chance to exit here breathing, as it looks on you and expects you to wilt and be paralyzed. It just looks down at you and sees only defiance. Furious, it takes a wicked longsword out and friggin' goes to town. It's going to take 2 attacks on you with its...
Roll poor. Oh no. With advantage.
Yeah, you went reckless. That is a 16 to hit on the first hit.
It hits.
Okay.
Like 10 damage.
The second one will also hit.
Okay.
He's doing the both at once.
And then it swipes down and then just swipes across you with a claw.
Yo, you're
for its
being
third
just, you're
strike.
gonna do that. Okay, Brad. I understand.
It's very bad. That is also a 16 to hit.
Oh my god.
And Michelle, I did roll very poorly.
Oh, this is one of those things where you never realize how long a round is until you do reckless and then everyone gangs you.
Yeah. Bet you felt real tough before this. So, the first strike hits you. You take, again, I'm going to give you already reduced, 8 points of slashing damage
Okay.
and 5 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, that's really bad. That's
And I need you to make a dex save.
That's even. That's. You are.
A dex save. Do I have advantage on this or no?
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Dex save? What?
Because I.
That makes no sense.
He said it.
That's crazy. That should be a con save. I'm sorry. That's,
Okay.
it should be a con save.
It's a 22.
22 will
Okay,
save.
okay.
Okay. Your second hit, you take 7 points of slashing damage and 9 points of necrotic damage.
Oh no.
Tal
Lior-
almost didn't leave.
Lior is down.
Guys, this is really bad. As it reaches out and slashes over at you, your hit point maximum is reduced by 9.
Soften the wound, Bradley. Oh god.
Lior, what do you feel as you fall to the face of this nightmare from a storybook?
I think Lior, as he falls, does not let himself despair. He looks at this Murdril, at this manifestation of the Dark One, and he lets the rage carry him to the end, that the Ogier should have been here sooner. And so he takes it, looking into this eyeless creature's face, and goes down defiant, not regretting his part to play in what happened.
And Lior falls unconscious. This is very bad. So I would like you to make another Arcana check, if you don't mind.
That's a 17.
It's a 17. Since that worked last time, I'm going to say it works this time. Paige, you are floundering with the last bit of spirit that is there, and you can sense just beyond the threshold that there is something to be grasped, something that it should be tied to, something that it is still supposed to be tied to, but in a moment that you feel that the possible tether is severed.
Okay. Is it Paige's turn? I can't think. I have no idea what's happening anymore.
It is actually... Yeah, it is Paige's turn.
Okay, all right, good.
You can't get there though.
So the things that have happened, I can't get there.
No, because it takes half your movement to get through the gate.
You can action dash.
You can action dash
But then
if
I
you
don't know
have
if
a
you
bonus action healing.
I don't. Yeah.
How far is he in? He's 10 feet in, right?
Yeah, he's roughly 10 feet in.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that... roll a d20 for me.
He fell forward.
It's a nat 1.
So he's 50 feet.
I was gonna say odds or evens. I was gonna say evens. You fall back towards the gate, so you're right on the threshold.
Oh.
You fall 10 feet. Yeah. That was actually your first death save. Oh,
2 deaths.
5, 6. Action dash is 5 feet.
You lose half. You lose
I
15.
lose half. I lose 15. And then he's 10 feet from the gate.
And you can go 10 feet. You have 10 feet left.
Okay.
I don't know if you have healing word. And
That's
then you
exactly
can pop
what I
back
need.
out. But I don't know if you'd be able to pop back out.
And Martin, I will remind you again that as a trained practitioner of channeling, the same thing that became a possibility for you on the boat when you were trying to figure out a way to just clear your path, there is a way to sort of improvise beyond the limitations of the spell list that you have. These are just the ones that you're practiced on. These are the weaves that you know.
There's experimenting.
There are ways possible for you to try and, let's say, replicate the effects of another spell with a successful spell casting check.
Okay. I will see if I need that. Paige is going to... Paige sees Lior run in, Dirk running right behind, and realizes how bad this is and says, I need to find the leaf. I need to find the... Something's happening to Lior. I need to find the... And then it hits her. She's like, Lior! And she just takes off in 1, 2, 3,
15, 20, 25, 30.
30. It's 5 feet to get in.
Yeah.
And then it's 15 feet I lose. I'm gonna action dash.
Okay.
And it's gonna be one of those things where every step she takes, she's just pulling things back. You can see her fingernails are bleeding now because she's like pulling
Scrambling.
bark off of trees, grabs Tal, throws Tal back, trying to make her way through. She busts through. And I would say with that feeling of those tethers being cut, one of her closest friends being taken away, she is just reaching for... She doesn't even see... She has died to know more about the ways, and she doesn't even know where she is. She knows that there's danger, and she completely forgets what is waiting for her. She just needs to get to Lior. I believe with my action dash, I lose 5 feet to get in. I lose 15 feet there. I am right at Lior. Basically, she's just running for the fur that she knows, the smell that she knows, and
You would just reach him.
and I am going to sink my fingers into his fur, and there's going to be no word. She's just going to scream, and anyone who's around her will just hear screaming in their minds if that works. And I'm going to quicken a level 2 healing word. Oh, sorry, cure wounds. Cure wounds.
He did it.
Yeah. And I don't need to roll an attack.
You don't, actually. Nat 1, you heal a Trolloc.
It's like, whose foot is this? Ah, wrong fur. No. It's like, would that seem logical.
Everything else, everything you've said there checks out. As you
Okay.
like tear your way in, you're frantic. A little part of your mind looks and sees like the crumbling stone from the fireball that you just threw.
Yeah.
And you know what is waiting for you on the other side.
Yeah.
And I think that you might be the only one who knows how you don't feel like a hero right now.
Yeah.
But you're the only one who, in retrospect, would know how heroic it is, since you know that what you might have just called might be on the other side.
Yeah.
And yet you still do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point, she doesn't realize when, but she's dropped the torch. She has, I guess she doesn't even know that there is a fade, because by the time she lands and she grabs the first, she just pulls her face in and she's just yelling into the beast that is Lior on the floor.
And that scream is a manifestation of, as you go and the spell tethers, all of a sudden the voices in your head stop and they go, "Get him. We have to get to him now. We have to get to him now." And as soon as you cross through that threshold, the quick, fast, we need to save him just turns into a...
That's exactly
As all of a sudden, this thing that you are tailor-made to hear becomes that much more amplified as you feel a gust across your face. You hear bleeding, you hear howling, as you see just in the periphery of your vision, bodies start to fall off the end of a bridge. But you just channel all of your resolve into not going insane in this moment and healing.
Yeah. That's 16 points of healing. And yes, just echoes of threnodies. Every single violin played at the top of his register. Nothing. There is no sound. It's just blocked out screech and fur and screaming. That is the end of my turn.
That is the end of your turn. That is also, unbelievably, almost the beginning of Lior's turn. Dirk, as Paige pushes past you
Yeah.
into the way gate, and you go, and she just screams Lior with more urgency than you've ever seen her talk. She runs in, and you reach out behind, and you feel this lethargy sink in.
Yeah. You'll see me drop to a knee, like, and I'll just give Tal this confused look and just, like, almost close my eyes.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no.
We don't need this now, Bradley.
15.
15. As you start to get a little bit weak, you just feel this angry, it's not the, come on, we've got this. You just feel like a, let me try. And you feel this iron fist in the pit of your stomach, but you, I think the wave of lethargy that really hits you is you just focusing all your energy at not letting that happen. All of a sudden, this agreeable voice, you're reminded of how malevolent it is in this moment. And you are, like, sort of prevented from moving, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's going to be your turn, Lior, as you awake. No longer grappled because I said you fell down.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Why wouldn't he drop the body, Brad? Why wouldn't he drop the body?
Otherwise, because otherwise it's going whoop with you. So it's not doing that. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
You awake to Paige screaming in your face.
No.
Pick her up and run.
That's
How do I do that without...
double half movement? He has to dash and somehow pick you up.
Yeah.
How many enemies are surrounding us? Like, just out of curiosity, what's going down?
Much like I said earlier, there are 4 Trollocs on the platform with you.
Okay.
There is, I think you haven't even necessarily noticed it yet because you're so one track right now, but there is a fade
Yeah.
right
yeah.
next to you.
Yeah. Yep, no.
And a mass, a screaming mass of large bodies on a bridge behind you that are trying desperately and vainly to fight their way forward as the wind picks up.
Okay.
Use your action.
Okay.
You just crawl. You don't need to get up.
You tell me what you want to do.
I don't know.
You tell me what you want to do.
Oh, guys, I'm not okay.
Okay.
Victor.
Lior is just going to, from the ground, cradle Paige for a moment and just say, "You should have left me. You should not have come. Let us try before it's too late." And I'm just going to grab Paige and try and with one hand start crawling and pulling her on the floor with me.
Are you in a rage? Is this a?
I'm not in a rage.
Your rage dies when you go down. You're right.
And so I am I'm on the ground, not raging. I action grab Paige, and I just start pulling myself away from these creatures. Can I will in a fit of survival turn back to the Murdral and say, "Curse you, Sightblinder." And I'm gonna spit at him. And I'm going to just crawl away and let them rain down blows.
Sorry. Did you rage? Did you bonus action rage?
Yeah, I bonus action
Okay,
rage as I was saying that.
Sorry.
I literally
Oh my god.
That was
I thought you were leading up to
loud.
it. I kind of figured it was implied because you said everything that implied it, but then didn't say the word.
Sorry, bonus action rage.
Did you grapple me with your first attack and then range attack spit him in the face with your second? I'm joking. I don't know.
Grabbing Paige isn't an attack. You have a goofy carrying capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm not gonna make you do a strength check to pick up Paige.
You're good.
But is it an action to grapple her?
No.
So I still have an
She's
action?
willing.
Yeah, Paige is extremely willing for you to grab her.
It's only
and-
an action
Yeah.
if the person's not willing.
She's not.
to fight
She's not
back.
So when
resisting
you
you
just
at
throw
all.
her on your back.
Yes.
She's already hanging on. You can just stand up and she's just gonna. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I just want to, because it depends on how the math works out. I'm 10 feet away from the thing, right?
Yes.
Then what I will do is
You guys are so
We're 10 feet away.
10 feet away. If I crawl, that takes 20 feet of movement, and to step through takes the other 20.
Yeah. But if you stand up, you lose 20 automatically.
Yeah. So that's.
You move 10, you have 10 left, and you can't get through because
No,
you
no,
need
I'm
20 to
crawling.
get
I'm
through.
crawling.
Unless you dash, but I don't know what you need.
You can
your
crawl
action
out.
for.
You can
I'm
fully
gonna crawl
crawl
out.
out. That checks out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spit, and
We're-
as he
we're
sees
sorry.
me grab
This is the
Paige-
most stressed I've been,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all week.
Sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
Listen, I am like notorious for not having like very like fatal games. This is crazy for me.
I've not stopped shaking.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, then in that case, I'm gonna use my action to disengage. I'm gonna grab with my other hand the corpse that I had dragged in and that got left, and I'm gonna hurl it like a log, so that it tumbles across them, and that'll be my disengage as I crawl away.
Okay. I'm not gonna be a little stinker because the way that I have envisioned this, there is a way for you to have run in and not been adjacent to the fade.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say all of a sudden like, you know.
I feel like because the way he described it is he just plunged his hands into Lior's hair. Theoretically, Lior fell, but there would be Lior between the two
And I
of
think
them.
force movement doesn't trigger
Theoretically.
opportunity attacks.
Oh dang! You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
That's why we dissonant
Shout
whispers.
out to episode 7 with that nightmare thing. Yeah, then no opportunity attacks happen because that isn't you letting down your defenses.
Thank God. Thank God. What
oh
defenses?
my god.
And-
the rules lawyering going on.
Lior,
What we need.
Lior, you wake up and you feel none of the rage, none of the primal fury. You just look up and you see a terrified Paige who, when you look even with the limited light that you have that you can see with, you could see blood trickling from her ears. She just screams and is like inconsolable right now. And you just grab her, turn around, and I want to make this clear, spit from the ground 6 feet into the air.
Doesn't need to hit him in the face. It just needs
big
to.
guy, it's fine.
It just needs to get somewhere close to him. It's the gesture.
It hits his robe. He tries
Yeah.
to get out of the way and it hits his robe. Paige, make a perception check for me right now, if you don't mind.
Bradley,
Go with you.
can you roll a Constitution save to see if I gave him COVID?
Rude.
Oh my God. Perception checks out. It's a 3.
Yeah, great. That sounds about right. Okay.
What's happening? I need to know.
Your face is buried into the fur. And as you crawl away, and just again, blows are attempting to rain down on you, but you just like do this crazy, exhausted as you are, you do this like crazy like kip up but barrel roll perpendicular to the ground, and they miss as the Murdrall's blade is about to hit. It deflects off of the wolf's scimitar, and you crawl out, emerging in a heap at the foot of the waygate, clinging to life.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Welcome back.
We're not out of it.
We're not out of it. It took us like 3 turns and so much to do that.
Are there bodies around us? Like from
Yeah, there are some
Yeah.
Trollic bodies on
Yeah.
the ground.
All the
Yeah.
dead bodies.
I don't even know.
Where's the L? Do we have the L?
I have the L. Hold this L.
back on the board,
Hold this
baby! He's back on the board!
Off the floor on the board.
This is it!
Yeah, and you could just put Paige on top of Lior.
We're all like
And
just,
maybe Scooch, maybe him coming out would have bumped me over a little
like
bit.
we're all just
so
tumbled
he's
on
got
top of
the-
each other. I'm incapacitated and Lior just like barrel rolls right through me.
Theoretically, would your haste have come right back up?
No.
Everyone's
Same
haste comes.
lane?
Yeah, how the oh, sorry. Do you want to do that?
You know what?
He's
because
so-
I said because I was being stupid in narrative, and I said you feel that this tether dissipates because you are no longer conscious and you were grasping at something.
And the
I
potential
think
is no
in
longer
terms
there,
of consistency of my own dumb narration, I think your turn is
have it.
restored, which is great for you because it's your turn.
Really?
Yeah, you're after Lior.
Okay, well, like
You
I'm
go,
not gonna,
ooh, and then Paige falls on you and go,
and I'm just going to see Lior down, Tal completely white, and just like understand that whatever is in there cannot come out, and I'm gonna take off running this way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. I'll go about here, 60,
Sure, 50.
so I can see
We'll
there.
say 50.
50?
Yeah.
Excellent. And I want to just look everywhere on this side now that I've looked on this side. I'm standing, I apologize. For the stone leaf. Okay, trees are cut. People are looking on the ground. Can I also make an effort to like scan trees to see if it's inside of something, or just
On a stump or something.
Yeah, like it might not be on the ground, you know?
yeah. You know that it is somewhere in this vicinity, because you've ruled out everywhere else. Roll
Literally
me
the
with
last
advantage, and the
quadrant.
DC is much lower, but in consistency, I have to make it a roll.
Come on.
Perception?
Perception or
No,
investigation.
investigation? That's not good. 14.
14. The DC was lower.
Nice.
You spot at the base of this narrow stump here.
Yeah.
You spot the trefoil leaf.
It's the blue sticky tack.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I'm going to action dash back. 5, 10,
Oh,
15,
yes,
20,
that's
25,
right.
30. And I double movement to action dash double.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
your
yeah.
speed is
5,
doubled.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Slam it in the game.
I have... No, wait, yes, I have an
You have
additional
120
action
feet of movement?
because of haste.
You have an additional action.
Use object and basketball slam
Boing.
that crap
Oh my
into the portal.
You're like the Tasmanian devils. You're like,
Yeah.
You have 120 feet of movement?
No, yeah, 30 double to 60, and I can dash and double my move speed, which is double.
His moves, he doesn't get an extra movement. He gets his movement speed
Speed
doubled.
doubled.
So
Okay.
if he action dash,
Then it's
yeah,
doubled.
interaction,
Cool.
pick it up,
60 per
action
yeah.
dash, second action.
boing.
He's literally the Flash.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, these gray stone doors that were dull and lifeless, just with like worn by time grooves as like a filigree of nature. You place this leaf in the center as Lior, just barely conscious. You're getting your ankles out of the waygate as Dirk does this, and you just point your hand up to the spot where it needs to go. And at first, nothing, and then light starts to animate around all of this. The gray doors grow green and orange and brown and all the colors of what woodland should be. And
What a goddamn hero.
these doors that you thought were just walls start to pivot inward. And as they are, you see a dark shape hover by the entrance of the door. As it, you see a hand reach out, you see a hood pulled back, and you see a pale face, paler than the grave, staring at you through this obfuscated gateway. And then behind it, what was once the gray light of the way grows black, and the figure reaches out with greater panic, and you see it turn its head, and you see a mouth open in a silent scream, and you hear a very, I think all of you hear in a different cadence, in a different way that hits you so personally. You just feel, you don't hear the voice, but you hear like an intrusive thought.
You could do it now. Kill everyone. Kill everyone now. They're not belonging to you. We must destroy. Are you gonna do your part? Stamp out the evil and protect the realm. You've been one with us this whole time. Join us, Kashmir.
And just as you all begin to sweat and panic, and you see fingertips reaching out of the gate, the doors close. The connection severed, and briefly hanging in the air and falling to the ground after they escape the stone doors. 3 pale, clawed fingertips. As you lie panting beneath the somewhat crumbled waygate. You have escaped.
Tally immediately turns and heaves beside the door.
So does Victor.
I need to change my pants.
I need to change my clothes.
We're gonna take a quick 5 minute because I also need to sweat, throw up, and change my clothes.
We have a therapist waiting for us just out there. We're gonna go.
And we're gonna clean up a little bit and pick up right after that.
Oh my god.
So, that is where we pick up with you guys lying in a heap on the foot of the now dormant waygate as this weird sort of like connective light starts to dissipate and fade until you could almost imagine that you hadn't even seen it. Finally, still once more, the trefoil leaf, reminiscent of the tree of life, sitting now comfortably back in its intended position, although certain parts of it have crumbled and the frame is a little askance. The section that is the holder for the key is intact. As you have a brief panic as you sit here as a piece of gravel falls and hits you. And you turn, half expecting the gates to be open or shaking, but nothing seems to be happening in that regard. The night is calm. The night is quiet, cold, mostly devoid now, once again, of any of these animal sounds. And you sit here all surrounded by the bodies of 4 to 5 dead Trollocs. Something like that.
The fire's burned down, I guess, from the
The fires are still burning. It has been
12 seconds.
12 seconds. It's been 12 seconds.
12 Looney Tune seconds, but 12 seconds.
Yeah. After about 24 seconds of sitting here, Dirk once again. And then returns.
Everybody all right? What the hell was that?
I don't think I'm gonna be all right ever again.
I am so sorry.
Lior, what the hell happened to you?
I lost sight of why we were here, and all I could think of were those 2 Ogia that had been eaten. And I wanted to make them pay. I didn't stop to think about how much danger I was putting you all in.
It's, I mean, never do it again. But it's, at least we know what they're doing. We can tell somebody that they're using the waygates to move armies. I don't really know how waygates work, but
Armies?
there was a full army in there, and I'm not talking about a couple troops. It was a battalion.
There was a fade at its head. That's what
don't
we
know.
saw.
Can you make like a wisdom saving throw?
Natural 19 plus 3. Saving throw? 3.
Yeah, you fight off like a full panic attack as you were just driven by sort of adrenaline, I think, running around and striking at all of these Trollocs and able to fight off. Okay, I'm with people who can channel. That's more powerful. That's fine. That's gonna be fine. Trollocs haven't been a big deal in forever. They've never been near the farm. And then you ran in and saw the full scope. You ran in and you saw this pale figure who almost, you could swear that he was reaching out to grab you. And I don't think that Tal necessarily has the understanding of like how much this is a real world force to connect immediately that this was a fade, that this was a Murdral. I think it's just like you've lived your whole life thinking that you left childhood stories behind, and you woke up one night at 38 years old to find that the boogeyman is real and he lives under your bed. But you managed to steel yourself, think back on some of your teaching about finding your key, finding your center, and breathe deeply and fight off that panic.
So Tal will start shaking a little more violently and a little more violently, and suddenly just like... Is that the army that has Sammy?
I do not believe so. That is the Dark One. That is not the dragon, the false dragon.
I thought I'm so confused. People keep saying we're chasing the false dragon and he's a dark friend, but he's not a dark friend and he's not working for the Dark One?
Paige would have been leaning against Lior, head down, quietly sobbing with her hands just like turned over like this, with blood and like fur in the crooks of her fingers, and just and would look up. I will. Those were the Dark Friends. The false dragon is someone like you or me who's gone mad. What was in there was far worse, far more dangerous, far more terrible. How did we make it out alive?
Because of you. And I'll just for a moment crouch down and put my broad forehead against yours, and you'll feel my nose pressed against yours, and I never doubted you for a second, Paige. But if ever there was a moment where you doubted yourself, know that what you did was one of the most selfless things that I've ever seen. So you can look at us and have your fears. But when the moment came, you faced them. I'm so thankful.
Paige will look down and reach out to Lior and reach out to Tal and just squeeze their hands and look at Dirk.
I yank Dirk in as you pull me in, and we all just group hug around Paige.
Yeah, and she's just holding tight. Yeah.
And as soon as you try to resist, I flick you in the ear and pull you in.
I think almost instinctively, like I still have this buildup of energy, like I just fought off my inner demons, and I'm just going to kind of release and try to exhaust myself. And I don't think anybody here looks too banged up, so I'm just going to put it all into Lior, and I'm going to try.
about halfway banged up.
You look halfway back?
I am not even.
Yeah, I know.
I look at you and say, "What you gonna do?"
Almost exactly halfway banged up. Yeah.
And I'm going to
Cast inflict wounds.
I'm just going to smile down and think I'm doing this great thing, and I'm just going to try and lay on hands and for about 14.
Okay.
That's insane.
Roughly.
Roughly. I need
Roughly
to leave
14.
myself with 1.
Nice.
Wow.
Excellent.
What does that look like?
Roll me 2d20s.
That's so cool. That's you. Oh, it's so good.
A 15 and a 6.
Great. It was with advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Because you have not set out to destroy, which raises the possibility of things going awry. But you have set out to, like you said, I think I'm doing a good thing. And you reach out, and there's a little bit of a panic once you're out of your rage, Lior, which I assume you have dropped and not just been continuously raging over and over again.
It would have ended after one round.
Yeah, exactly. But you, exhausted, look down, and there's now an initial fear, now that you're not driven by this primal violence, at seeing Dirk reach out to you with a hesitant but purposefully turned hand, and knowing what he's capable of. But a look in Dirk's eyes shows you that this is all Dirk, and you no longer feel the need to heal with fire.
Yeah.
You have an understanding now, and it's not the understanding of this voice that speaks to you, this voice that is agreeable and then not. It's the understanding that you learned from Paige, and you're able to heal Lior. And moreover, you feeling at the end of your capabilities are able to release this sweet, sweet poison that sustains you and kills you at the same time, but you're able to release it willingly.
Nice.
Yeah. And having used up all your spell slots, you do have a point of exhaustion.
Okay. So
Paige witnessing this, being very nervous about Dirk, even before the fight as this was happening, is still hanging on and unsure, but looks, and as she sees this happen, she just starts to giggle and laugh in a nervous release of what has all happened. And yeah, just giggling, holding arms, and never thought that she would. She did not think that things would be the same after Lior stepped in. Something was going to be incorrigibly wrong, and just the feeling of sweet, the idea that innocence could have just been ripped out of us, but wasn't, just pacifies her, and is very happy.
As you guys sort of gather your bearings in this scene, what is it you'd like to do?
Should we just sit and take a minute before trudging
away
on back?
from this waygate? Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if we should go too far from the waygate. Is there a way of stopping somebody from taking that key out?
Oh, that's a really good.
Is there a way that I know of to try and
Put the child lock on.
Yeah. That's
those
basically
deadbolts
what I
where
want
you
to
can
do.
lock?
Yeah.
The linchpin, if you will.
Unfortunately, I don't think you know of a way to do that.
What if I break it, Bradley? I'm kidding.
Don't break it.
Would you like to cast Fireball?
Too soon.
To that point, I'd like you to make a whatever it is. It's either stonemason or
Stonemasons.
like history with proficiency, whatever we're saying for dwarven stone cunning, whatever that was.
Ogier stone cutting.
Yeah, the Ogier
it's
race that I
intelligence with
created is
proficiency.
just a bunch of other classes, other things.
That's a dirty 20.
Hey, dirty 20.
The first intelligence check to go my way.
I think that you keep this internal because you see the situation that everyone's in. You see Dirk falling over exhausted, this time sort of succumbing to the lethargy. You see Tao on the verge of like a break of sorts while you sort of like giggle along nervously with Paige. And you see Paige relieved. You don't necessarily choose now as the time to say this, but you do look and you do see just like the top of the way gate. A single little pebble falls off the top and lands. You catch it before it can make a noise. You see that not imminently, not in the next several days. This is unprecedented.
Yeah.
And hard to study, but you see that the structure of this waygate is compromised.
Yeah.
What that means hasn't been studied.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. No, Lior is just thankful to be alive and to be surrounded by his friends. And yeah, dares not darken the moment, and so well, if we wait here, we'll make sure no one touches it.
We'll have to let the Ogier know. Maybe they can set a detail to protect it now that they know what the danger is. I don't know if Ogier have warriors. You know how to handle yourself.
Well, not in a long time, but they'll find a way to keep an eye on it. I'll take out a handkerchief, and without directly touching them, using the material, I'm going to scoop up the 3 fingers of the Fade.
Yeah, and you know to do so carefully, for the black tipped nails that they have been known to carry a poison that sets deep within the wounds that they make.
Felt it firsthand. Oh,
You felt the longsword.
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, damn.
There's multiple bad things going on.
As I see Lior kind of picking this up, I'd like to just sit a minute and just kind of concentrate. I know the waygate's closed, but I want to kind of see if I can get any sense if there's any still like the one power in this, or whatever this dark thing is in this like fingernail. See if it's still potent. Like maybe the dark one's still connected to it.
I think if you use your divine sense, I think you don't get a sense. I mean, like the profound, like you feel like this illness looking at it, like it just looks off. It doesn't look like a finger that has been, dug out from the grave. It looks like a finger that was meant for a grave, even at its liveliest. So I think that sense is like deepening, but you don't get a sense that it's going to like, thing from Wednesday.
Right.
You don't get a sense that there is still like a live connection to these fingers.
Okay, that's what I mean. Like more of like I don't want even them to be a beacon, like a tracking or a homing.
You don't get the sense that that is the case.
Okay, awesome.
With your divine sense, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah.
Would Paige be able to just... She's going to sit back a little bit from the gate as she rests her back against one of the stumps and just look at the doors and study them and try and remember how were they when they arrived and what opened, and just reflect on the moment as she tries to process what was that? Was that even... We met the foes of the Dark One, but as we saw... the foes of the Dark... We are the foes of the Dark. We saw the Dark One's army. However, what there was something in there that was not it. What was that? What feelings did she have? What was that last message? Who spoke to her? Who were they? And as she kind of processes the idea, she's just trying to understand what went on in the ways.
I don't think there's a check for that. I think
No,
that
I
I think that Lior spoke to you about this.
Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
You sort of like recuperating. You think that the voices are quiet at first, and then you think there are night birds chirping, but it's actually like the aura of voices that you hear are just like whimpering. Okay. There is a fear at what you have encountered. Not an equal, not a superior, but like the shadow of what you experience.
The shadow of what I experienced.
Yeah, the shadow of what you experience is that moves independently of you.
Yeah.
Lior spoke to you about the Mashin Shin, the Black Wind, a terrible consequence of, I guess, the tainted power of Sidin that male channelers created the ways with, that eventually, when they started to dim and people started to get lost along the ways, you remember the lesson from Lucille Sedai saying, now, not that there's any reason that you ought to be going in the ways, because, well, to be frank, you've got a piss poor chance at survival. But should you ever go in, it's attracted to the one power like a moth to the flame. And all who encounter it go mad. And she, like, jump scares you.
All right.
If you tell any of the other sisters that I did that, I'll deny it.
I'm not, but I wasn't scared anyways.
Right, you weren't scared. She jump scares you again, and
I just run out.
just a cackle as you run out of your room where she's been sitting in the novice quarters. But yeah, you know that it was the Mashin Shin.
Perfect. Okay.
So did we just kind of push back the army of the Dark One and kind of stop that? Because that's kind of cool, right?
Tal goes white again.
I think
Breathing exercises. Breathing exercises. She's gonna pull out her book. I'm just gonna sit over here and takes out a piece of charcoal and starts doodling on a page she's got inside there.
I think, at least for now, we've pushed back a moment.
We've pushed back and escaped.
They said that they had plans, though. I hate to know what those could be.
I think Gildan is in much rougher a ride than what it thinks it's in. It's not just the dragon reborn that's roaming the lands, and
Are there other waygates out there? Because we kind of got to tell the Ogier to close them, right?
Yes. Are there any other waygates nearby, or is it they're more where the groves would have been, and so
They're
they're
more where
bits-
the groves would have been
so it's
and
a bit
where
spread out.
Stedding are.
Yeah.
So not really super close by. You know that there would probably be another waygate to the north in the Mountains of Mist, where Manatherin once hailed. But you would know that there aren't any super close by, and moreover, you would know that they don't just stay open. They are expected to always be closed and expected to always
No,
be
this is
locked.
tampering. Yeah.
Yeah, something has gone afoul here.
We will definitely let the Ogier know, and I'll do our best.
I'm just gonna say, while you guys, I'm assuming short rest here, everyone go ahead and give me an investigation check.
12.
12,
17.
17.
13.
Are we
13.
investigating if we level up?
Stay tuned.
2.
If you want
back
a
to my
really
norm.
big moment.
12, 13, 17, 2. I think that, Lior, you sort of are ruminating on, they said they had plans. And you think, like, we have to figure out all as much as we can. And as everyone else is sort of, like, walking around and sort of canvassing the scenario, kind of, like, hesitantly, like, prodding at the bodies of these Trollocs, you go to do that, but almost, like, trip over a root as you get up and start to go. And you pick up a sungwood quarterstaff that you had stepped over on your way into the Waygate. And as you pick it up, it has, like, sort of a widened out pommel. And on it is beautifully engraved in the old tongue, the equivalent of would be the letter K. On it is a wrapped around it is a locket that when it opens has sort of like a small, like, very intricately done, but almost like outline, not as much fine detail, but clearly of an Ogier man. And on the other side of the locket has the letter T.
And Tamil and Corn.
Yeah. And so I think you maybe are the one to say, let's take a look around here, but when they turn around to see why it is that you're not helping, they give you your space as you're sort of just absorbed with this.
Yeah.
With a 17, Tal, I think that you might be the one who, as they're walking around and now starting to worry about the fire that is not going out at a certain point, and trying not to maybe attract any more people to your surroundings, as the two of them are maybe dousing the fire, having checked out the eagles and the ram over on the corner that you ran after. I think you go back to you sort of limping where your Achilles was almost totally snagged by this wolf, this first one that you totally like wombo comboed so hard to start off the combat. And you look down at the wolf, and it's got armor and a belt, and in that belt you see a squished, flattened scroll.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll open it.
It has harsh runes that you don't understand, angrily drawn out, or with a heavy hand, I should say, that doesn't appear to be more than several words, but is some message that don't appear as much as letters might be a challenge at times. These don't appear to be letters, and you're pretty confident in that.
Guys, this isn't the alphabet I've been practicing, and I'll show you.
Tal, there's only one alphabet. No, this is a weird one. Paige?
Does it look like old tongue?
Paige, roll me a history check.
History saving throw?
A history saving throw.
Could I
That's
assist Paige in that? Having learned the old tongue as well in Ogier script, just to see if I have a reference?
Roll me a straight.
If it's
Roll me your own, because it kind of depends on whether or not, like, how well you roll on this depends on whether or not you would recognize this.
Yep. So I rolled a natural 1, but I would like to use magical guidance to be like, no, get out of the U and try and think of it.
Does that
again.
take a sorcery point?
It does take a sorcery
Okay, but you
point.
broke down like a third level spell. So
That's right.
It's 5.
And during this short rest,
Sick.
I have turned a level 1 and level 2 into a level 3. So with the things I've scrambled my
Sir.
things.
Taking a short rest? Or we're
Yes,
taking...
you guys are short resting. I'm not gonna say like, an eagle dunks on you.
18.
18.
That got better.
Dope.
21.
21.
Key comes back on a short rest, right?
So I think in that case,
I'd like to spend a rage to re-roll my history check. Go lower, if possible.
That's an at one. I fall unconscious. I think with an 18, you go, oh, this is no old tongue I've ever seen. And you go, oh, this isn't the old tongue. This is another language entirely. And you bring up to Paige that this is a language not seen in most of the continent since the Trolloc Wars. This is in fact the runic script of the Trollocs. And as much as you were loath to operate under the harsh tutelage of a certain Blue Sister, Adelaide Sedai, you did learn a fair bit of important information about world conflicts and where they lie. And with that was a class that you did pay more attention to than normal of...
18.
Yes. And over the next hour, you decipher a message.
My goodness, 2 messages.
A message that
days.
says something to the effect of... The pretender will not kneel. He is to be cowed.
I should be writing this down.
It's okay, 3 people are writing it
Yeah,
down.
that's what I figured as well, but
Yeah. And honestly, like, the amount of times that in, like, normal games I would just make stuff up and then be like, oh, shoot, I wish I had a way to remember that. Hey, I watch all this footage back. It is a godsend.
I'll read it out loud and say, the pretender will not kneel. He is to be wolfed? No, cowed.
First, she just moos. And you
That can't
step
be
in
right.
with a 21 and say, that's wrong.
I will look up at Lior and the others and say, I believe we may not be the only one going after the false dragon.
I believe you're right.
is this, I guess, proof that Logain's indeed the false dragon?
I'm not sure if I would trust the Dark Friends in their ascertainments, but I think it just shows that even in their ranks, they don't believe he is the Dragon Reborn.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty exhausted. Why don't we head back to the Ogiers so they can get people to guard this thing?
I think that's a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Before we go, Paige, I trust you.
Paige will look down in shame a little bit.
Do you trust us?
I do. And I'm sorry if you felt that I've been hiding behind a wall of lies, because I have, and because I've built this wall myself.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What are the blueies?
What? The blueies?
What?
From her book, she'll pull out the leaf of paper that she's been scribbling on, and you'll notice that your light-fingered friend has stolen your letter and say, I was practicing my capital letters. They only want you to trust the blueies. And you'll see every capital letter in your letter has been underlined and copied at the bottom of the page, where it says, trust only the blues.
I can't believe you, man. I can't believe
Oh my god, you're mad that you got martined? You're mad that someone else in the middle of a session said, check your phone, can I roll for it? Can I see what their secrets are?
What are the blueies?
Never seen Martin's forehead veins.
He's torn between good job and I'm furious.
This is it. This is what,
I was like, I'm
you're
used
not allowed to
seeing
detect
that.
thoughts. It's my.
I see that. all
I'm
the time.
I'm the creator, baby. I detect every thought.
I am your thought.
You're a product of me.
I'm not gonna lie, I spent an hour reading the letter last night instead of sleeping. You're very good at capital letters, and this is pronounced the blues.
Okay, what are the blues?
The blues, from my understanding, are at the tower. We have different factions of Aes Sedai. They are the Reds. They're most famous for hunting down and having the reputation of why Aes Sedai are dangerous for those who channel. And there are others, the greens, the yellows, the greys. However, the blues are those who are most interested, who specialize in justice amongst in the lands. I believe this may be an indication that the Aes Sedai, the White Tower, might be compromised.
Because if they're telling you to trust one faction, it implies that the others are not to be trusted.
I believe.
Or the corruption's in the blue faction and they want you to think that the other factions are bad to keep you under control.
You're right.
What color are you trying to be?
I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm not going to lie. I do like what the blues do. The blue Aja, as they are known, bring a lot of good into this world, and I think if I had to put my allegiances somewhere, my trust in one of those factions, it would very potentially be the blue.
Can I insight check that?
Totally.
Do I roll deception or do I take my pass?
That's gonna be like a 6. 7.
I want to be every color of the rainbow.
No. That seems to be true.
Yeah.
He wants to be part of the pink Aja.
The iridescent agile.
She is the coolest Power Ranger. Yeah. You are right. However, someone from the blue Aja, the one who found me, I trust her dearly, and I will ponder this, but I think that there's something happening at Tarvalon that might not be savory.
I hate to correct you. The blue that you know is Adelaide Sedai.
The one you hate. You know how they...
Lucille is of the gray Asha.
I'm feeling nauseous again.
I'm a little lost, to be honest.
Rewind. Try again.
I got to my backstory. No, okay.
That didn't happen.
This is a bit upsetting. Someone whom I trust dearly, someone who I look up to, is part of the Blue Aja, and I'm not quite sure what to make of this.
Well, isn't that a good thing? I mean,
Someone you trust, yeah.
being an Aes Sedai is never really a great thing, but
It's a blessing and a curse.
if she's blue and you trust her and she's for justice, then we're all good.
The one that I look up to is not blue.
Oh.
The one who doesn't quite believe in me as much, the one who is hard to please, she is a blue. And her and I don't see eye to eye on many things, even though I keep my eyes closed when she's around. I don't know what this means.
Well, perhaps it is like what we did in the tavern, in the frog. The best way to conceal your trust in someone can be to pretend you have none. And so to everyone else, who are they to believe that you could be working together? But I don't know your sisters, and I don't know how they could help us. We're so far away, and if you send a letter, will it reach them safely?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm working on reaching them a different way, but I haven't quite tried it out yet.
Okay. Well done, Tal.
Good job.
Capital letters, I'm telling you, they're underrated.
Some people believe just all script should be capital letters, but
Well, Lior was telling me the other day that all sentences are supposed to start with capitals, but there's a whole bunch of sentences in here that don't, so.
I should brush up on my, yes. Yeah. That's very, they started the, it's so clear once you
Would you
put it
ever
that way.
try to be like a detective, Tal, or like an investigator? You don't have to be in the army. You could,
I don't know what a detective is.
well, like an investigator. Like someone's like, there's, someone died here. We have to figure out who it is. And you're like, look at these footsteps and these letters that were written about the crime, and you solve the crimes.
Oh, that's just like growing up with brothers.
Right. Did you ever want to do that?
I think what Dirk is trying to say is you're far too smart to just join the army.
Hey, all my brothers are in the army.
That's my point.
I don't take back what I said.
My point exactly.
Yeah, we've met some of those guys. Yikes.
You can't base all of them on Felix and Otto. On Cyrus and Otto. Julian's pretty okay. Felix knows what's up.
But Tal, you can
That's
channel.
about it.
You got an advantage that they don't.
I'm going to go ahead and say that you guys do your short rest and start
scooch on
making
out.
your way back to the steading.
Perfect.
It is a bad. I'm going to be straight up. It's not a fun time. No. You guys are already mostly exhausted. You haven't slept since landing your boat earlier the previous day at this point, and you walk essentially through the night, arriving at dawn. It's a trepidatious walk. Even those of you that can see well in the dark are not too sharp right now, but you do eventually make your way back to Steading Jinsoon, where you see this sort of like, now you know sort of the signs to look for, and there was a rock when you left that had a very particular shape, and you to brace yourselves to enter back in, so depleted of your strength, there's a well to draw from, but you couldn't grab it right now if you tried. And luckily, it seems like nothing's trying to grab it for you. And you walk in, and as tired as you felt before, I think Dirk sort of like stumbles to the ground, even more exhausted, with this like life-giving source now taken away from you. But you tough it out and stand up. And as you all look at Dirk and walk back in, you see standing close to the entrance, the two older Ogier that you had met the day prior.
Aerith and Fiel.
Aerith and Fiel, who are standing there. Fiel with none of the sort of like oddly goofy nature about him, just a concerned look, and Aerith looking over at you, eyes as big as teacups, seeing you arrive alone, already doing some math on this.
I'll nod to Fiel solemnly, but it's to Aerith that I'll look, and I'll just say, we're so sorry. We were too late.
And I think you give
I'll extend the quarterstaff that we found.
And she walks up to you, sort of like in a rush as you're coming in, and when she sees that no one is there, she sort of stops short of you, and as you extend out the quarterstaff, she walks up to it, and crying, takes the quarterstaff, and just folds it in to herself, and cries as Fiel comes over and puts an arm around her. And Fiel just says, "You did what you could. Thank you for trying."
I'll be honest, it's not me that you should be thanking, but these ones here.
It was all of us.
Well, they did more than their part.
And Aerith shakes off her tears and goes, well, as much as I want to know what it is you've seen, it would be a poor reflection on our steading to question you without sleep. Please.
I hate to interrupt your grief, Elder, but we have to tell you, we stepped inside the gate in the process of trying to close it, briefly.
Why? Why have you opened it?
It was already opened. We had to close it. But on the other side was an army of Trollocs, led by a
Fade, a murderer.
And she's gone from, like, cradling this quarterstaff to white knuckle clutching it as,
I'll kind of unwrap the 3 fingers and show them what it was. Well,
This is how close it came to stepping through before we closed the gate.
you can see already, like, you haven't been taking them out to look at them throughout the night, and even as cold as it was, they've started to, like, decompose at a strange pace, but still, enough of a shape remains there. And she goes, if you wouldn't mind taking that outside the steading.
of course. We just needed you to know.
Of course. This is something we take very... What do we do? And you, for the first time, see, like, an elder of your people. You know right away, this is not stammering because of the cold. Totally lost for what to do in this situation, looking to you for guidance.
If the Dark One's hand has shown itself, then we, too, must step forward. We should send those who can to protect the Waygate here, and we should let it be known to the others of what was seen. We can no longer stand idle.
Of course. And Fiel just goes, we cannot hide from the world. Our steading are safe, and he's looking at Aerith. Our steading are safe, but they still exist with the land. I understand. We will set a guard.
Thank you. And as much as we can, we should send letters out to the others.
Of course. It will be done. Now, you all look like you're about to fall over, especially you two. It's oddly the shorter, skinny ones that seem totally fine. Half-hearted. Please, come to our stump and find shelter.
Thank you, Elder.
Of course. And just totally, like, shocked out of any sense of, like, what this person's personality is, even. Just, like, astonishing... News so astonishing that it, like, dehumanizes or
Deogearizes.
Yeah, depersonalizes them for a
There you
second.
go.
But you guys go to the stump and find you're managed to make it in before the rest of the village awakes, and so it saves you the awkward confrontation of people looking to you with hope. You all get a long day's rest rather, and wake up at around 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rested, restored. Your hit point maximum goes back up, but not healed of just the scars of what you have witnessed and what you have seen. But you all wake up, and Aerith, you see, is sitting on the other end of the room as you awake, sort of sitting by a hearth, by a portrait of 2 younger Ogier men who are dressed in their finest cloaks. A painting of them has been captured, arm in arm, smiling gently at the viewer. Yeah, as she holds on to this staff, and she turns when you make a noise and goes, "You're awake. There's food if you need it. I hope you've all rested well."
Thank you. Yes, it was the best sleep I've had in a while, actually.
Good. Good. Now, we've sent a guard to watch over the Waygate.
That was the quickest I've ever seen an Ogier do something. Sorry, I'm just quite amused.
First, she goes to give you a reproachful glare, and then you could see there's a little bit of an internal, well, that's fair. And she goes, "Yes, well, extreme circumstances do call for us to be hasty at times." Now, what is it that you will all do? Will you return to Shangloon now that you've accomplished what you set out to do?
I owe it to these wonderful humans. And even if I didn't, I would still accompany them. There's one of their own that is now missing, and so we go in search of him.
She clutches the quarterstaff a little tighter and goes, "Of course, I understand."
Are you sure, Lior? I mean, I actually enjoy your company a little bit, but this is a free hop off for you. You saw what we're probably going to wind up going up against. There's no turning back after this, man.
Well, do you think for a moment that I would?
I mean, it's really peaceful in these things. I'd understand if you did.
It's easy to pretend, but that time is over. And, well, I don't think we're done here. There's still scores that need to be settled.
The gardener has his eye on a couple of weeds, I see.
Agreed.
Ooh, that's good symbolism. I like that one. Now, I suppose that you're going after the people of the dragon? Is that?
They are the ones suspect.
Well, we have had some indication of where they're located. By walk in this weather, and you look and you see even in the recessed underground compartment that you're in with the sort of diffused light windows that are created with shrubs, you can see that a lot of that diffused light is gone. You can imagine covered by snow that has fallen since you guys went to sleep. In this weather, it's a difficult travel, but their camp is said to be roughly a 4 days walk northeast of here. If you keep in line the tallest peak of the Mountains of Mist and travel alongside the setting sun, you should find at the very least signs of where they would be located. They seem to roam around some deal, but have their main base in a static location.
Thank you.
Keep in line with the what mountain, sorry?
The tallest mountain of the Mountains of Mist. The tallest of the Mountains of Mist is a better, not redundant way of saying that.
We thank you for your hospitality and offer our sincerest condolences for your loss.
Thank you. It's been some time since we've seen any of your sisters in our steading, if I do not mistake you.
You do not. My sisters have been quite preoccupied with the war that is happening. Reason for me being here. The false dragon is a risk, and they wish to learn more of it. So I'm here to collect information. Your help is appreciated by those waiting at Tavalon.
Steading Jinsoon is reassured that the White Tower thinks it worthwhile to investigate this terrible disturbance. So many have declared themselves in the last short while. When she says short while, you go, 5 years, yeah, blink of an eye. Strange, the times that we're in. Strange.
What do you mean by declare themselves?
You would know.
That's the dragon.
As the dragon, yes.
You would know, and probably the two of you would as well, that in the last 5 years, 3 people have declared themselves the Dragon Reborn. This is something that happens, Loghain is not the first false dragon. Usually it's a rare generational thing. 3 in the last 5 years is exceptional, and has split factions in the White Tower, none of which you really get the full gist of, but you hear whisperings in the kitchens, whisperings among novices that you don't even know where they're hearing it from when you're teaching them lessons, that there's either nothing to worry about or something to worry about. There's not like an in-between. There's just a real sense of we don't know what to make of this. In your circles, it might just be very interesting. In your circles, this might have just been world's finally seeing the shadow for what it is. They're finally going to prove us right.
Yeah.
QAnon was always true.
Yeah. You guys just didn't know it.
Yeah.
This is what I've been preparing for my whole life.
This is my January 6th.
In my circle, my sisters were trying to dress me up like a little doll while I kept trying to run out to the fields.
Yeah, 5 years ago, checks out.
I want to say Sheep on the Farm didn't talk too much about this.
Nope.
It's not that bad.
Eloise told me a lot about the most handsome farmer in town.
Oh, what was his name?
Jack.
Cool.
And she married him.
Son of Nick.
Did she?
Eloise was very clearly the most beautiful of my sisters.
Jack the Bean Farmer.
I would say, like, he dabbled in beans, but
Okay.
he started off by specializing in cows.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
killing giants.
Interesting. Yeah.
But then he had to sell the cow for some reason, and he wound up with beans.
It's got a weird blonde goose. Yeah, I think Aerith just says, take the time that you need to rest. We'll not have anyone bother you on your way out.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. They say no news is better than bad news, but I think I'd rather know.
I agree. I hope you can heal.
I hope so too. I hope the land can heal from this.
With the right tending.
I think at some point over...
I would
Yeah.
like, if possible, before we exit,
Yeah.
to just ask my compatriots, do you mind? Before we exit, I just like to take a moment and would I guess kind of like lead the group in a way to just like the kind of like the little garden, a local garden,
Sure.
and just kind of for a moment kneel and just kind of allow my hands to go into the soil and feel it between my fingers and just kind of breathe in the scent of the fresh plants growing and then just take a moment to take the 2 letters that have been burning in my pocket since I got them out and to see just what I have to face.
Sure.
Up until taking out the letters, as soon as I see Lior plunge his hands into the soil, Tal's gonna go kneel down beside him and plunge her hands into the soil, like looking out from the corner of her eye, be like, "Am I doing it right?"
Worms. Would you like to read the letters, or would you like me to read the letters?
Ooh.
Up to you.
There's 2 of them, right?
There is 2. They are
1 and 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do 1 on 1.
sure. I will read. First, you think to open the one that will make you feel good first, but then you feel the harshly written "son" underlined, and you open the first letter, which reads, "Son, this is foolish," underlined, caps lock. "Your father and I have talked, and after several weeks, decided to ask Brahm if he sent you on your own. He seemed stunned that you had done so. You always were too eager to see the world, and we did not see the danger in your craft as a stonemason leading you on these fanciful trips outside until it was too late. Please do return. Your betrothed seems a sweet woman who doubtless wishes that you had remained home. Stay here in the steading and settle down. You're still a young man. The outside world will remain there when you are settled into your 2nd century, or your 3rd. We miss you and worry for you, Lior. Please be safe and come home swiftly. My garden wants for sunlight in this cold fall, and it could use a song. Your mother." And then the other letter is...
Tal's just peeking
top
over
half of
like,
this page.
that's not a secret letter because all the capitals are where they're supposed to be.
That is true, Tal. That's true. And like I think Lior is like reading like almost the full letter being like, "Yup, this checks out. Like this is what I expected from my parents."
Yeah, and I didn't write it, but like there are like written out exasperated sigh sounds.
Blah.
Yeah.
DLAG.
They are raw.
But I think he gets to the end of that section.
Yeah.
That he knows like the first section sounds like his dad, and then that last section very much sounds like it was probably his mom.
Right.
Who came back and added that.
Yes.
And in that moment, the thoughts of, well, they just don't understand. It's not that simple to just stay and pretend and ignore. But that last paragraph, he misses home. He knows it's not time to go back, but
Yeah.
he misses home.
You've never been inside of a steading and felt like it's not where you belong before. And there's not the sense of longing in that belonging, but it nonetheless you feel that you miss home. But as you sort of dig your hands deeper into the ground, and you, Tal, feel like the ground's starting to shake a little bit, You feel one plant grow underneath your hand, and it emerges, and on the contrary of like all these beautiful like winter colored plants that grow amid the snow, one large sunflower emerges as you read your other letter.
Bradley, you can't say
I'll
stuff
just
like
stay,
that.
just like was crouching at that point and seeing the sunflower plop down. Like, well, I can't do that.
Make an Arcana check.
Channel the one power. I'm just kidding.
Natural 17. Plus 1.
You pee a little.
Plus 0. 17.
17? That's not bad. With the natural 17, you feel something and pull at it, and then you see another flower start to go underground as you like pull a root, and you quickly stop.
Pat the root back into place.
My sweet sunflower, you have been hasty. Very hasty indeed. I suppose this is where I should be writing for you to come home. However, since I'm feeling partially responsible for encouraging your foolhardy decisions, I will say this instead. I am proud of you. If you are receiving this letter, then you have achieved the goal you set out for. I have never been outside longer than a day's journey, and now you've traveled the continent twice over. I must admit, I'm a little bit jealous. I spend so much time charting the world as we know it, from steading to steading. I wish more than anything to see the points on my maps, but fear the unknown of the spaces between them. I think that's why I'm so drawn to cartography. This world seems so large and unmanageable, but I can make it small and comfortable. I would ask that you write to me of the things you have seen in this large country, but I fear that even your words can do them justice with ink and quill, so I'll wait to hear them in person. By the time you're reading this, I will have set off across the plains to the mountains of mist. No. Okay. To await
Yeah, I straight up wrote it that way to punk you.
to await your return at steading Shangloon. Our people have so much time, and yet I don't want to waste any more of it at a distance from you. Please be safe, as I know you will be, and I trust that you will make bloom whatever you are able to. Yours alone, Adeline.
Got punked.
You have a brief moment of panic, and the sunflower starts drooping, and then you read, I'm going to Shangloon, and the sunflower pops back up. But I think you breathe a little bit easier, and then maybe breathe a little bit more heavily, going, oh God, she's gonna meet my parents and just be chilling with them for months. Oh God.
Yes, that's too close for comfort. Too soon. I need to be there to mediate that. But Lior is relieved. She always knows just what to say to correct my course and know how to still the feelings of unease and uncertainty.
At this point, while you're sitting by the garden, Aerith and Fiel walk up, and Aerith Fiel holds out a bag, and Aerith reaches into the garden and plucks a couple of fruits and puts them in the bag, which is tied up and given to you. She says, for your journey, I imagine that you'll need some food, since there's not much in the way of that in the plains of snow. Please.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid we won't be able to stay much longer.
I worry to see one of our own leave again, but trust that yours are some of the more capable hands of our kind. I hope that you do find who it is you're looking for. I think she looks and sort of like got a vibe from you and looks at you and goes, keep them safe.
I'll try.
That's all we can do. And just gives you a nod. Says, You can remain as long as you wish, but you know the way.
Yeah, we gotta go. And I'm gonna start walking.
The Creator shelter you.
And you as well, brother.
Paige will turn and say, "Glory to the builders. May you find peace in this time of sadness. Our mission will be to protect our favorite Ogier. We will do our best."
And Fiel goes, "I didn't know we were picking favorites. Okay." And she just whacks him with the quarterstaff.
Tal will go, "Your name rings in my ears."
That was very close. Your name rings in my ears.
Michelle was
Pretty sure. Yeah.
pretty sure I got it wrong, but not close
Gonna
enough.
try it out.
Yes. Truly one letter off. And yours sing in ours.
Oh.
And they just politely nod to you and walk off arm in arm as you all stand up. People are giving you a wide berth, not out of fear, but out of respect, to not badger you. And the way is cleared for you to depart from this place and to head north and east into the final leg of your journey, to reach the camp of the people of the dragon and whatever or whoever awaits you there. And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
It's all bad. It's all bad stuff. It's all bad things.
I don't know. I thought that was.
We survived.
I thought that went
Survived.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Honestly, goosebumps. Poetic.
I haven't been able to stop shaking.
I know. I,
thought
saw.
I w- I
I
thought
made
I
you
would.
roll at
God
one
you
point. I saw you
survived.
like.
You're like secret weapon
I
against
thought I was
any
gonna stop
human.
shaking. Haven't stopped shaking.
Oh my god, that got a lot closer than I thought it would.
Before the end of the combat, I started grieving, like, preemptively.
I
was
thought
like,
you were narrating my
damn.
death.
I
I thought you
thought
asked me
yeah.
to narrate my death. I was like, oh, this is how Lior goes out. Like,
I was like, 3 death saves doesn't matter. We're not getting him. And even if we do, someone's dying when they go in
Yeah,
there
it's a
to
trade.
rescue him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a trade.
Yeah.
Listen, your combat order when you guys rolled for initiative 2 weeks ago, or the last time that we recorded, really saved you guys.
I would've
Having
shut
you
that.
guys,
I
having
would've
you guys
shut it.
land on the same thing.
Would have shut it with you in it.
Tal, finally,
Let's go find your brother.
let's go start a private investigation company.
We don't have to join the army. Look
Oh
how
my
we did it.
God, I think we're gonna wrap up there and probably have like a stressful, like awkward, uncomfortable laugh post mortem. But unbelievable. Wow. And when you guys did long rest, funny you should say it. You guys do level up to level 7. You do level up to level 7. So
ASI.
we're gonna get you guys all set up for that as you head into this final journey. I will say to the final sort of vignette destination of this campaign, and we'll roll some hit points next time. And until
God.
till
Can't
then, we can
wait.
sort of just think about like a cool travel that's going to take half the session. I'm saying it now. It's a montage. It's no conversations.
I feel like it's gonna be like the 3 of them in like triangle formation with like Tal at the peak, just like fully, you know, like when boxers first get to the ring, they're like
Yes.
the whole way.
100%.
Days of walking, just like this.
Yeah, truly just to stay warm.
Yeah.
If you've hung around for this episode and this near death, near funeral, thank you so much for watching. You can catch the next episode of our show airing next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel with the podcast format shortly following. Where will this team end up on their journey northward?
Northward bound. Homeward bound.
We'll find out next time. I think it's time for me to stop talking. Until then, I've been Brad, and this has been Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might.
survived!
God.